Oh my God, Bruce. So happy to see you. I know that you're busy and it's such a great opportunity and great honor for me have interview with you because your work is amazing. So I think now we are broadcasting.
Tom. I am honored to be interviewed by you because you have a following of a number of people. And what we want to do is you and I want to talk about a message about, hey, what's going on? And what can we do? What can we do about it? So thank you for letting me have an audience that we can talk to.
You're welcomed, really welcomed. And so we're going to talk about what's wrong, what's going on in the world, why people are so stressed and everything. And thank you very much, audience. You're with us here. I'm very happy. Everything you need to know about Bruce is below this video. Like there is a subscribe, and you can follow his page, his social media. You can just buy his book because Bruce is the author of 3 books, best-selling books, and amazing guy. Like, Bruce, what happened? I checked your Wikipedia, and the last time we had interview, they changed it a little bit. They put it there. Because you're a developmental biologist, and they put their anti-vaxxer right up. What's wrong with the world? Like, and it's so funny because when you click on it or when you just go on that with your mouse, there is a picture of some guy having the sign where is it written like, kids have a 99.99% survival rate with natural immunity. And it's so strange. I was like, what? And they put it there as well. It's changed in your profile on Wikipedia that you are not scientist. Now you are pseudo-scientist. Can you imagine that?
I'm very excited by that because, listen, I have been teaching immunology for 15 years now. And when did I lose my science?
Where it is?
Where it happened to it? I was a scientist my whole life, and now it's gone? I don't know.
It's gone.
Where is it?
It's gone. It's gone. So this is Wikipedia and you, but people know you. I really recommend you to read your book. I think that one is very famous. Is The Biology of Belief. It's amazing. I was listening to that. So guys, if you never heard, just do that now. You have the links below the video. And today it's about you, about your questions. I'm going to translate the questions of the people from the Czech Republic and Slovakia into English. And we are going to talk about audience in the middle of Europe. And the situation in Europe is very complicated these days. After the COVID, we have the war, and people are really, really stressed and upset right now. So these questions are very interesting. So guys, please share this video with other people in the Czech Republic, because I think that Bruce has a special and unique point of view. And I think it's very good to think about it. Okay, you can discuss it. You do not have to agree with everything, but just discuss it. Think, hesitate, think, search for more information. That's why you're here. I'm very happy. And so write your comments, everything. Thank you for sharing very much. And if you are for the first time here, just subscribe. You know how it works here. So Bruce, before we start, just tell me, how are you? Because now you are in Los Angeles, I think. You have morning.
Near San Francisco.
Oh, you in San Francisco. Okay. So now you are having morning there, yeah? I'm in Sri Lanka. It's night. So how's your life? How do you live? How you enjoy that? Tell me.
Tom, I want to tell you, I live a life of heaven on earth. Every day I wake up, I'm so happy to be here. I'm healthy. I don't take pharmaceutical drugs. I'm almost 80 years old right now. And life is beautiful. And the whole idea is you have to understand that we have been programmed. Oh, yeah. The movie The Matrix. They say science fiction. I say, no, it's not science fiction. The movie says everyone is programmed. I go, everyone is programmed in the first 7 years of your life. And this is why the Jesuits, the Catholic Jesuits, They have told people for 400 years, they said, give me a child until it is 7, and I will show you the man. What they meant was, if I can program the first 7 years of your life, then the rest of your life is the program. And so the idea of Matrix is science fiction. No, it's and it's interesting because in the movie they say you take a red pill and you're out of the program. And I want people to know almost all of them have taken the red pill once, at least. I say, what is it? Fall in love. When you fall in love, remember your life could be blah, 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 blah. And then you meet someone, and 24 hours later, your life is, oh, I'm so in love. Life is beautiful. Everything is wonderful. I say, how blah, blah, blah. And then you fall in love, and then heaven? and the answer is this. When you fall in love, it's the same as the red pill. And that's you get out of the program. And I said, what happens when you got out of the program? I said, then you made heaven on earth. So what's the point? The point is this. Well, why can't you have heaven on earth every day? And the answer is because you have been programmed. And if you get out of the program, then life is heaven on earth every day. And for 23 years now, I wake up every day with my partner, Margaret, and we share a honeymoon, 23 years every day, wake up in love. And I don't live in that world I used to live in because I changed my program. And the truth is, this, as I said, for 400 years, the church already knew that programming can control your life. First 7 years, what happens in that 7 years as a child will determine what happened the rest of your life. Wow.
Yeah. Your story is amazing. Just if you guys want to, I put the link below. You can read it. It's amazing. And thank you very much for being here, Bruce. I'm going to ask you the questions from people because that's important. I would talk with you for hours because I would ask you so many questions. But now I will put attention to these questions from people. So thank you very much for answering. So the first question for you is, the translation is coming.
Yeah.
Wait. I see that now. So, Bruce, if you believe in something, will it happen? People believe in peace. So why is there war? This is the first question.
Well, this is the biggest point that people have to understand, okay? We know the mind is controlling our life, the mind, okay? But there are two minds. One of them is the latest evolution, right behind the forehead, right here, is the conscious mind, where you are, your spirit, your personal identity. You're the conscious mind, okay? Back here is called subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is like a computer program. It's got programs in it, okay? And the conscious mind is creator mind, and subconscious mind is program mind. And the programs are, people think, oh, subconscious is evil. I go, no, subconscious is not evil. I say, these programs are very important so you can live your life easier. I say, Tom, when did you first learn how to walk? When do you think? When did you learn how to walk? How old were you?
Oh my gosh, I think I just was observing my father.
Yeah.
From coming back, when he came back from the work. And I think at school, mostly, because discipline and how to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a program you've downloaded. You saw what your father does, what your mother does.
Yeah.
You see this. And so I say, well, which mind, this is the important one, which mind is controlling your life? I say the conscious mind, that's the creative mind. That's your wishes, your desires, what you want, creative, okay? Subconscious mind program. And so it turns out only 5% of your life is from creative mind, the wishes, the desires that you want. 95% of your life is subconscious program, okay? So I say, well, who's running your life? I say, not you. Program is running your life. And I say, where'd you get the program? I say, before you were 7 years age, you would watch your mother, your father, your family. You just watch them, and it's like video camera. What you see is now programmed. So you see how a father behaves. You see how a mother behaves. You see how father and mother work together, and how the community, what is community doing? The reason's simple. To be a member of a family, to be a member of a community, there are rules. And a baby, a child is like, where do they get the rules? Because they can't read a book, they can't go to school. I say, how do they know how to be in a family or how to behave in a community? And the answer is the child watches, and what it sees, it downloads as program. So the idea the child before 7 knows the rules of how to be I say, yeah, but where do they get the rules? I say, from other people. They got it from the father. They got the rules from the mother. They got the rules from watching the people. And I go, yeah, but here's a problem. What if the mother or the father is not living a happy or healthy life? I go, well, you download that and you become that. So the important part is, are you running your life? And the answer is 5%. That's all you're running your life. Okay? And why this is important is because people say, but I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. And then they say, but I try and it's not working. I go, that's because only 5% of your life is controlling that. Okay? When you fall in love, different thinking, then 90% of your life is coming from wishes and desires. That's why honeymoon. That's why, how come you could be blah, 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 and then meet a person, and 24 hours later, life is beautiful. I go, what difference? I say, the first time you're not playing the program. When you stop playing the program, then you are the creator of your life. But every day, only 5% you are the creator, 95% you are the program. And here's where the problem is, okay? You can't see the program when you play the program. You can't see it. I say, why? Why? Okay, the conscious mind is creator mind. What do you want? You want happiness, health, love. Yeah, they come from the front, the conscious part, okay? But the conscious mind can think. I say, what do you mean? I say, the conscious can do two things. It could look at the world and say, this is what I want. Or the conscious mind can think. I say, today, Tom, it's Tuesday here. What are you doing on Thursday? And I bet you in 1 minute or less, you'll go, oh, Thursday, I am going to do this. I say, where'd you get that information? You say, oh, I thought about it. I was thinking. I go, thinking is inside. You could look outside or you could look inside. If you're looking inside, then you can't see what's going on outside. I say, what if you're driving a car and you start thinking and then your conscious mind is inside thinking? I said, then who's driving the car? And here's the point. The subconscious with the program is like autopilot. If you stop paying attention, the subconscious takes over. So that if you're driving the car and you're thinking, you're not hitting anybody, you're still driving, and I go, why it's important? I said, well, you're not watching the road. When you're thinking, you're inside. So thank you. You got subconscious knows how to drive the car. When you are thinking, the subconscious program takes over. Okay. So let me give a story. Like, let's say you and I are in the car and we have a great conversation. We're talking blah, 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 blah. And I'm driving and blah, 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 blah. And then I look out the window. I go, I haven't paid attention to the road for the time we were talking. So then someone says, well, what were you talking about? I said, oh, Tom and I were talking about this and this and this. And then they asked this question. What was on the road when you were talking? I go, I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I didn't see it. I go, point of this is the car was driven by the subconscious, which is a very powerful computer. And you were thinking, and the subconscious says, I know how to drive the car. And it drives the car. But you didn't see it because you were talking or you were thinking. Okay? So I say, what's the point? I say, 95% of the day, you're not paying attention what's going on. You're thinking. That's the average amount, 95%. Well, if you are thinking, then conscious mind is not controlling the car. When you are thinking, the program controls the car. But the program didn't come from you. It came from other people. Program from your mother, from your father, your teacher. Okay? So here's the point. We only see with a mind, conscious mind, 5%. The rest of it is controlled by program. But the program you can't see because when the program is playing, why is the program playing? And the answer is because you're not paying attention. So the program playing it by itself. That means you can't see your own program. Yeah. Everybody. I'll finish with this one though. Okay. Yes. You have a friend. You know your friend's behavior very well, and you know your friend's parent. And one day you see your friend has the same behavior as the parent. Yeah. So you want to say, "Hey, Bill, you're just like your father." And you know what Bill's going to say?
No.
What do you mean? I'm not like my father. I'm nothing like my father. And people laugh, and you already know it. And I go, what's the point? Everyone else can see that Bill behaves like his father. Who's the one that cannot see it? Bill.
Yeah.
But guess what? All of us are Bill. We do this every day. And so here's the problem. If you don't know that your program is running, and you don't know that maybe you got a bad program from your father or your mother, then during the day, 95%, you are playing the program you got from your father or mother, but you're the only one that cannot see it. And that means everyone else can see your behavior. You're the one that cannot see it. And I say, what does that mean? And here's the most important point. That means that when things don't work, a person says, oh, I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be happy. And it's not working. And then they say, oh, that person made it not work. And that person prevented me from getting what I want. I'm a victim because I wanted to be successful. I'm not successful. So it must be other people's fault. I go, no. You were playing the program that sabotaged you 95% of the day, but you're the only one who did not see that, but everybody else did. And their behavior is based on your program behavior, not you. So the most important point, Tom, is in this world, we all want to have joy and happiness. We want to live the honeymoon. We want heaven on earth. I go, that's 5% of your life. If you're not experiencing the heaven on earth or joy, it's the program that you cannot see that is playing 95% of your day. You can't see the program. It's the program that prevents you from being healthy and happy and desiring what you want. But if you change the program, you become the creator. Because then it's your wishes and desires that are in the program, not your parents or your community. I hope it's literally crazy, Bruce. Always when I hear it from you, it's, oh my God, so powerful. But let me ask you two questions. Yes.
Like, first question is, okay, if it's like this, it means that, because the question was connected with war, okay? So it means, I will say it in my word, like if in my childhood,
Yes.
I do not get in contact in any war on TV screen, computer games, at the school from history, because we learn, okay? We learn about wars and we see the pictures. So if I say it simply, it means that if we don't get any information till we are 7 or 8, there is a high probability that the war will not be so often in the world. Am I correct, or is it a stupid question?
No. This is important. Look, in Israel, between the Palestinians and the Israelis, right? They're fighting for 200 years.
Yeah.
Okay. I say, how come? And the answer is, when they are children, even, let's say, Israeli child, doesn't even know Palestinian, never, a baby, child, doesn't know Palestinian. But guess what? The parents are going, Palestinians bad. You know, these people are evil. And you're a child. What you're hearing from parent, Palestinian bad. And I say, you don't even know Palestinian. But the first time you see Palestinian, you go, oh, that's the bad one. And the Palestinians are told the Jews in Israel, they're the evil ones. So they don't even know an Israeli. And then the first time they see Israeli, go, oh, you're the bad one. Okay? So now here's interesting true story. Friends of mine in Israel, the woman is Israeli Jew. The husband is Palestinian Arab. And they fell in love. Mm-hmm. And the family went crazy. The father of the Palestinian, he said, you married a Jew? And chased him with a knife. He was going to hit his kid with a knife. The Jewish girl, their parents go, you married a Palestinian? No, you're not part of our family anymore. So, but they're in love. What do they care, you know? But they end up having a baby. And then they said, where do we send our baby to school? Do we send it to the Israeli school? And they went and they looked. They said, no, we don't like that education. They went to the Palestinian school. They said, no, we don't want to send our kid. That's not a good education. They then went to the Christian school. They said, both of them go, no, not this one either. So what did they do? And this is the whole secret. They said, we make our own school. And they said, what? We're going to have Palestinian children and Israeli children, young children, very young children, like 5, 6 years old. And that's what the school is, 5, 6 year old kids, right? Those kids play together every day. The Palestinian kids, the Israeli kids, every day they go to school, they play, they learn each other's language, they learn each other's way of life. And guess what? They grow up. They'll never fight. They grew up as kids together. They liked each other as kids. And I said, what was the point? The war, the violence was programmed from the parents to the children, giving them, these people are bad. These people are bad. I go, but when the kids grew up with each other, they were friends. They would never fight each other. They love each other. They're children. They play every day. I go, that is what the world needs. Because when we separate them, then the Israeli kids don't like the Palestinians. The Palestinian kids, they don't like the Israelis because they're separated. That's where the war comes from. But if you put them together, there will be no war. And this is what we need to understand in the world, is that if kids play together, they will not fight each other. And this is where we have to stop the separation and let the children grow up together, because their children don't see separation. Only the parents see separation.
Wow. So I hope you can see me well, because internet connection. Yeah, you can see me well. Yeah. Thank you very much for answering. The second question is, Bruce, it's a little personal, but I'm traveling the world. I've been traveling for 2 years now. I was in Thailand, Malaysia, in Nepal, in Tanzania. And you know, some people from Czech Republic and Slovakia, they come there to just meet with me. And I see that, you know, they are in some routine under the program, probably. And when they want to stop, or they stop actually from doing something, they feel they need to stop, doing something. As well, they feel horrible pain. They are under stress. They are nervous. They are like angry sometimes. And they are absolutely lost. Even though they know they need to change. And if they stop doing something what they used to do, they feel like down. Why is that happening? Why, even though we stop doing something which is not good for us, why we feel like, oh my God, I'm lost. I'm so tired. I don't know what to do with my life. Why is this working like this?
Well, because they're not coming from the thinking mind. They're coming from the program. So what if I have a program, I'm supposed to do this job, but then the job doesn't exist, or I'd stop doing the job? What do you think the program says? Where's the job? Why are you not on the job? So your mind is going, oh, it's not working. I say, that's the program that's not working. You are still stuck in the program. You're waiting for the job. I said, nope, no more job. And then you're going, oh, no more job. And it's not like thinking is, oh, I could do a different job. Oh, I can get better job. Oh, I could have better. Nobody's thinking that. All they're thinking is, oh, I lose my job. And then they get very upset. And let me tell you what the upset makes stress. Okay. You ready for this? 90% of disease in the whole world, 90% is stress. Genes, less than 1% of disease, illness is due to genes. 99% has nothing to do with genes. Everyone that's getting sick, they go, oh, I got bad genes. People think cancer is caused by a gene. Let me tell you a scientific truth. There's not one gene that causes cancer. Okay? I say it's connected with cancer, but the gene itself does not cause the cancer. I give example. Women have a breast cancer gene, BRCA gene. And they hear, oh, I have the breast cancer gene. I say, what do you think their mind is saying? Oh, I'm going to get breast cancer. I have the breast cancer gene. I go, there is no gene that causes breast cancer. I say, how do you know that? I say, half of the women that have the breast cancer gene never get cancer. I say, what does that mean? Having the gene doesn't mean you get cancer because they all have the gene. Then how come they didn't get the cancer? They were not stressed. No stress. Stress makes the cancer. And if you reduce the stress, the cancer goes away. And this is people have to know this. And it turns out 99% of disease not connected to genes. I don't care what's happening in your family. 99% of your life did not come from the genes. You control the genes. Your thoughts control the genes. So I say, what does that mean? Well, if you have negative thought, then you make negative genes. You have positive thinking, you make positive genes. And people say, oh, positive thinking can make you well? I go, that's what they call placebo. Placebo is the doctor says this pill is going to heal you, and you believe the doctor. You take the pill, you get better. You say, the pill heals me. And then you find out the pill was sugar pill, placebo. I said, then who healed you? Not sugar pill. You believe that the pill is going to heal you. Positive thinking. Positive thinking is the healing, okay? That's what placebo is. And people have to understand this. Positive thinking is very powerful in healing you. But listen, negative thinking is equal power, but it could take you the other way. Negative thinking can cause any disease, just negative thinking.
Wow.
You can die. You can die from negative thinking. And no one talks about negative thinking. They always say positive thinking. I go, yeah, but negative thinking is much more more in our day. If you say, how many positive thinkings did I have and how many negative thinkings did I have? The negative thinkings are much more than positive. So I say, then where do you think your life is going to go? If you wake up and go, oh, this is not going to work. Oh, there's going to be a problem. Oh, so this food is going to kill me. Or, I say, you're waking up with these thoughts. I say, these are not thoughts to make you happy. These are thoughts to make you sick. And I'm trying to say, it's the thoughts. And the thoughts come from either creation, conscious mind, positive thinking. I want this. I wish for this. I desire to have that. I said, that's positive thinking. Programming, if you get negative program from your growing up, then you will live with negative programming your whole life. And you will not. You need to change the thinking. That's what the point is.
Wow. So guys, write down what you think about it. What is your experience? You can share it with other people. Thank you very much for that, for the discussion. And the next question is connected with the topic we're talking right now, Bruce, actually. So you can answer very shortly if you want. Is that, so what is the truth about the fact that diseases are of psychosomatic origin? So I think that you explained it, but do you want to add something to that topic?
No, basically, psychosomatic means psycho, consciousness, affecting body. Somatic, body, psycho, consciousness. Psychosomatic means the consciousness is control of the body. That's the word, psychosomatic, okay? And that's exactly what we just said. Placebo, positive consciousness, I can heal myself. Negative consciousness, I can create cancer. Okay, so this psychosomatic means exactly what it says. The consciousness, psycho, controls body, somatic, psychosomatic. If you change your consciousness, you change your genetic activity. That's where consciousness can control the genes, or program can control the genes. So, for example, a child, a baby, is adopted into a family where there's cancer in the family, okay? The grandfather, the parents, the child, they all got cancer. And the adopted child comes into the family. It turns out the adopted child will get the same family cancer, but the adopted child came from different genetics. It wasn't the genes that caused the cancer. It was the behavior that's caused the cancer. And I say, we used to say it was genes because it runs in the family. And everybody says, oh, genes run in the family. Gene from the grandfather, genes from the father, genes, blah, blah, blah. And I go, yeah, genes do run in the family. But you know what's more important? Programming. The child is programmed. The child learns from watching. And if the programming is not good, then the child's life is not good. That's how simple it is. And so we have to go back and look at our life. Did we get love? 80%, that's a big number. 80% of people, if we do a test, and the test is, I love myself, 80% of people will not pass that test. We become critical of self. Why? I say, well, when we were kids and the parents said, not good enough, you do not deserve this, you're not a good kid. When parents were saying that because they were upset with the child, they don't recognize if the child is under 7, the child is recording. I am not good enough. I'm not deserving. I'm not loving. The parents didn't mean that's your life. They were just mad. And it's like, you don't deserve that toy. But the child just downloads program, 7 years, and they hear, I do not deserve. That's a program, okay? Then I say, what? Well, now the child is 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old. I don't care. I say, 95% of the life of that child is what was the program. I do not deserve. That's what the download from like day one, download like a computer. Oh, and the rest of my life is play that program. Then the brain will make sure that the program is right. So if I have a negative program, the brain will create a negative reality to say, yep, you were right. If I have a positive program, then the brain will create a positive action and say, yes, you were right. So it depends on, did you get positive programs or did you get negative programs when you were a child? Most of them, the majority of the programs are negative, disempowering belief, okay? Limiting that, who do you think you are? That, nobody? Okay. Then I say, well, if that's the program, then try and become somebody, because the program says I'm nobody. And it's 95% of the day, the behavior is to show you, yep, you're right, you're nobody. So when you play a program, the brain makes that program real. If you have a positive program, then the brain will make a positive real. But if you have a negative program, then the brain will create negative behavior. So all of a sudden I said, did this have anything to do with genes? Nope.
Bruce, I'm very sorry for interrupting you, but now I just one memory was recalled in my head. In the Czech Republic, we had very huge media topic because Jaroslav Dušek, he said something in the interview. He's very popular in Czech Republic because
yes,
you know him probably, Jaroslav Dušek, and he said something about the cancer, that he thinks that people who have the cancer, they hate life. And there were many comments from people, okay, so what about the babies? If they're like 1 year old, why do they have cancer? Do you have any explanation for that? How it works with the small babies?
Yeah, because the baby is recording behavior from even before it's born. The last what they call trimester, the last 3 months before the baby is born, the brain is working. And you say, well, how does it know what's going on? It's inside the mother. It doesn't know what's going on. I go,
oh my God.
I say, where does the nourishment from the baby come from? What gives the energy and the material for the baby to grow? I go, the mother's blood. The mother's blood goes into the placenta, and that has the nutrition to grow the baby. I go, yes, blood has nutrition. But blood has information. I go, what do you mean information? I say, well, let's say the mother doesn't have a baby. Just say she's not having a baby. And all of a sudden she's afraid and she's scared. I say, what does that mean in her body? She releases hormones, fear, like I'm afraid. It's chemistry. It's like stress hormones, okay? And she's like, oh, I'm afraid. I go, but that's chemistry, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's in the blood. I say, so what? Now she's pregnant. And I say, she's afraid. And I go, she puts the fear chemistry in the blood because she's stressed. I go, yeah, but the blood goes from her to the fetus in the womb. And I say, so what does that mean? I say, when her blood with her hormones or whatever come into the fetus has the same experience as the mother. Why? The chemistry of the blood is where fear comes. Fear is chemistry. So the baby, even before it is born, is getting information. Is the mother happy? That's different blood chemistry. If the mother is afraid, that's different blood chemistry. If the mother is angry, that's different blood, because her chemistry is controlling her body. But if it goes in the blood and then goes across into the womb, now it's in the baby's body. So the baby is experiencing just what the mother experiences. If she's afraid, the baby's afraid. The baby doesn't know why. All it knows is the chemistry of fear. It doesn't feel right. The chemistry of love. Baby is happy. The baby doesn't know what the reasons are. It just knows the chemistry. And if the mother has the same feelings over time, it repeats. If she gets mad and she gets mad and she gets mad, when she repeats that, the baby learns from repeating, repetition. If the mother has anger, or if the mother's afraid, every day, then the fetus every day is getting chemistry of fear. So when the baby's born, it's already afraid, even though it doesn't know why, because the pattern of the chemistry is learned. So when does the programming start? I say even before the baby is born. Okay? Then comes another part. And this is very hard for most people because they don't understand it's new physics. It's called quantum physics. I go, quantum physics is all about energy. Okay? A thought is energy. A thought is energy. I say, how do you know? I say, you can put wires on a person's head and you could read the brain inside, the electrical activity of the brain. You can read it with the wires. So everyone thinks, yeah, inside my head is thinking. I go, yeah, but there's a new device. It reads just like EEG, electroencephalograph, but the probe is out here. It doesn't touch a person. It's called magnetoencephalograph, MEG, not EEG. I say, what's the point? The probe is reading your brain out here. I say, what does that mean? Think. I say, my thoughts are not in here only. My thoughts go out here. So when I'm thinking, my thoughts go out into the world. I go, so why is that important? Because a baby is designed to experience the thoughts of the mother and father. It doesn't know the words, but it has to feel, is the energy good or the energy bad? Why? Because it can't defend itself. The baby doesn't know what's going on in the world, nothing. It's just born. It doesn't know anything. But if the mother is happy, then the vibration of happy, the baby will pick up. If the mother is afraid, the vibration of fear is picked up by the baby, because the mother is like the teacher of the baby. If the mother's afraid, then the baby has to pay attention. Okay, animals. If you have a dog, it tunes in not to your words. Dogs don't know words; they know vibration. If you're mad at the dog's ears will go down, and you don't have to say anything. The dog can read. Are you happy? Then the dog is happy. Are you afraid there's a noise outside? Then the dog will get all excited and start barking. Okay? If you want to take the dog to the veterinarian, the dog goes, I'm not going. The dog goes away. It knows the vibration. So if a dog can read the vibration, let me tell you, a child can read it better than the dog. And so the child doesn't even have to understand the words. Not even important. Is the mother and the father, are they happy? Oh, then the child says, okay, I'm good. If the parents are not happy, if the parents are afraid, then the child is like, I'm afraid, because that's a safety. How does the child know if it's a safe or not safe? It has to watch the mother, the father. Listen, let's say on a playground where the kids are in a playground, they have a swing, okay? And they're on the swing. And the child falls off the swing and is in the dirt. You know what the child will do first? Look at the mother. If the mother goes, then the child will cry. But if the mother goes, get up and go, then the child gets up and go. I say, so the behavior of the child was, is the mother afraid? Then I'm afraid. If the mother says, don't be afraid, then I'm not afraid. So a child is learning this. Why should a baby be born with a disease? Well, a lot of it has to do with the behavior of the mother and the father during the development of the child. If there's anger or, all kinds of problems between the parents, the child is already not in harmony anymore. And a disease comes from not being in harmony. So, yeah, a child, it's not the genes they inherit. It's the behavior they inherit.
Thank you, Bruce, for explanation. I'm going to ask you next question.
Yeah.
So next question is, you say our mind creates our reality. Why it is so difficult for people to practice in connection with money and abundance?
Okay, say that again. What's the question again, Tom?
Like, if our mind creates our reality,
yes.
Why so many people don't have money, even though they practice that. Like they practice the reality of money.
There's actually a very important book. The whole book talks about this. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's the name of the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What did it say? It said that a child that grows up with a rich family, what program does it have? Money. That's the natural way of life. What behavior? Well, they just follow whatever. How's the father make all the money? How does the mother make all the money? The child is learning. So that child grows up with money. But a child in a poor family watches the family and the father like, oh, we can't win. Oh, the poor family, oh, we don't have enough money. Oh, we don't have, we can't get this or we can't get that. I say, well, then guess what? A child from a rich family grows up and stays rich. A child from a poor family grows up and stays poor. And all of a sudden I said, well, where did the rich or poor come from? I said, the program. And that whole book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is exactly the story of why children in rich families generally stay rich and why children in poor families have a very hard time to make money. And since, let's put the numbers in, most of us are what you would call poor families compared to the rich family. 1% of the population's got all the money. The rest of us struggle. That's what it is.
So thank you very much. It's a very good book. I read it years ago. I recommend it to everyone. Yes. So next question for you. It's very interesting. It's again connected with sick and the process of healing. How can you prove recovery from a serious illness such as cancer with your mind? How to prevent it from coming back? Okay,
this is an issue, and it's very important. Let's say I have cancer, and they say, oh, these cells, these are cancer cells. And then I say, then they kill them with the drugs. I say, the cancer cell was not the problem. The cancer cell was because there was a problem. The cancer cell is the result of the problem, not the cause of the problem. So you can kill all the cancer cells you want, but you didn't kill what caused the problem. The cancer cell is what we call a symptom. If you're not living well in a certain way, then you can get cancer. From what? Not living well. Are the cancer cells the problem? Well, if you get a lot of cancer cells, yeah, because it could interfere with the rest of the body. But the point was, what caused the cell to become cancer? And as I said, there's no gene. There's not one. You got this gene, you get cancer. Nobody can show me one gene. You got this gene, you get cancer. Nope. The gene does not cause the cancer. It's the consciousness. Am I under stress? I say, how do you know if you're under stress? I go, look, if you grew up in a family where stress was there, I know you're under stress. Why? Because that's a program. And so the idea is killing the cancer cells, that they didn't cause the cancer. They're the result of the cancer. So I say, so what does that mean? I say, you can go chemotherapy. You can do radiation, kill the cells. I say, that won't prevent you from getting a cancer because they already got the cancer. Where was it that caused them to get the cancer? It's not in the cells you killed. They're already cancer. The question is, where did it come from? And that's what I told you. When a baby from different genetics is adopted in the family where there's cancer running in the family, cancer is the result of the behavior that is programmed from parent to child, okay? It didn't come from the genes because the adopted baby with totally different genetics than the adopted parents can get the cancer just like the adopted parents have. But they come from different genes. So where did the cancer come from? I said, not the genes. The kid didn't even have the same genes, but he gets the same cancer when he's in the family. Where did the cancer come from? The behavior that was not in harmony with life, that was downloaded by the child, will cause the cancer. But it was the same behavior that the parents got when they got the cancer. Where they got that? From their family. And I said, where'd that? Oh, from that great-grandfather. I go, so cancer runs in a family, but it's not because of the genes, because a baby adopted into that family with totally different genes will get the same family cancer. What's the point? The genes did not cause this. And if you have a cancer, you can kill the cancer cells, but you didn't stop the cause. More cancer will come because it's just take more cells. So the point about it is the cancer comes from programming, and the program is passed parent, child, and we pass it on. So there's a cancer behavior. That's what's passed, not the cancer gene.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much, Bruce, for that. I wanted to ask you about one thing, and it flew away. It flew away. Because the dog's barking here.
Yeah, I heard the dog barking. Good.
Full of nature. This is a wildlife. So, okay, if the question come back, I will ask you. Okay, yeah, I noticed that in pandemia, or how they call it, in media, there was a lot of information full of stress. And now, thanks to you, I feel how the stress is powerful in our lives and how it can change a lot. So when we know that the stress, that in media, we have information which cause the stress, why we still put it there, even though it's pandemia? All was about counting the death, counting the sick people. And in my surrounding, there were people and they were very, very stressed. They covered with everything. Okay. They were like warriors in the moon, on the moon surface. And, I felt that so much stress from them. So why? If we know it, why don't we use it?
Use what? The knowledge, or use what?
Like the knowledge. Like if we know that the stress is such a horrible killer.
Well, knows it? Who knows it? The conscious mind or the subconscious mind? The conscious mind goes, "Oh, this is very bad behavior. I shouldn't do this." I go, "Okay." I say, "How much is that conscious mind going to control now?" I say, 5%. The same program is still there. Whether I say, "Oh, I shouldn't do that," that's the conscious mind thinking, "I shouldn't do that," thinking, "I shouldn't do that." Yeah, but only 5% of your life is thinking. 95% still the program. If you don't change the program, the life does not change. So this is why when I first started talking about the science, I wanted people to know, you can create the most beautiful life. And I wanted to tell them. And so I get some people and I start giving them the science. And then they look at me and they go, "But Lipton, your life doesn't look so good. For a guy who says you know it, why isn't your life so good?" And I realized if it was my thinking mind that understands how to make it work, that's great. Except if my subconscious, if that doesn't know how to make it work, then it's not going to work. Why? Because the subconscious is 95%. So I could be very smart in my head, but my body didn't change the behavior because the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are two different minds. So the conscious mind can get very smart, but it does not change the program. And that's what happened in the beginning. My conscious brain, smart, said, "Hey, this is how you can create a great life." And then they look at me and say, "Well, if you're so smart, why isn't your life great?" I go, "Oh," that's when I said, I have to change the program. This is where the idea came from, but this is where the life comes from. So I can have an idea, but if I don't change the program, I could be very smart and still end up with the cancer. I can end up with poverty. I can be very smart. But the idea is, if you don't change the program, it's always the program is going to win. And that's why we have to learn that we can change the program. So that's the important part.
That's amazing. I would have so many questions, but okay, let's put one here, which is a little different for now. So from Dagmar, thank you very much, Dagmar, for this question. And okay, I can influence my own reality, but then there is also the collective consciousness. Okay.
Yeah.
What to do to prevent myself from that? Like to influence me so much, even though I'm just positive thinking, etc.
Yeah. The whole idea is this. What you have to recognize is that thoughts of people, my thoughts, your thoughts. I said, "Oh, you think the thoughts were inside your head? And I go, no. The magnetoencephalograph reads the thoughts out here. So everyone's head is like a tuning fork or broadcast. Okay. Now, if I have 10 people and 9 of them have negative thinking, then that means 9 people right around me have negative vibration. I have positive vibration. Okay. I say, is my positive vibration stronger than the other 9 people together? I say, it's like the volume on a radio or TV. When you turn it up, the volume gets louder. Well, I say the volume of 9 people, their thoughts, their volume of their thoughts, how powerful. And mine is just one thought, and they have 9 thoughts. I say, my thought can't change their thought. In fact, their thought can change my thought because it's more powerful. So this is why you want to be in a community. I say, yeah, but what's community? Sharing your life with people who have the same beliefs as you, the same attitudes. Why? Because then we're all broadcasting the same broadcast, okay? But if you go out into the world and most of the people have negative thinking, then you get caught up in the negative thinking because the power of the amplification, how many, everyone, like every voice is like a unit. The more voices, the more powerful. Now, if the voices are negative and you're in the group, the power of their vibration will affect your life. But what if you're in a community where everybody thinks like you? Oh, well, then the power of their thinking will enhance your life. That's why we seek community. This is what we do when we try and fall in love, is find someone whose energy they have is broadcast to you, makes you feel good, and your energy makes them feel good. Then that's when 2 people come together. Good vibes, they say, good vibes. And I go, that's what brings people together. And then, so now that we had a little story already, then I can continue. And I go like this. I say, well, when I meet somebody, it's like the red pill. If I meet someone, okay? And I say, what's the red pill? I stop playing the program. I say, if I'm not playing the program, then where's my life coming from? Oh, the conscious mind with the wishes and desires. And I say, if 2 people come together and they stop playing the program and just live by wishes and desires, that's when they create the honeymoon. That's when they create heaven on earth. But if they start thinking, remember, it's when they're thinking that the program plays. But when they first fall in love, they're not thinking. The word is stay mindful. They stay present. That's the words they use, meaning you stop thinking, you stay like watching what's going on, and your mind is in control. Well, if the conscious mind is in control, that's the one that makes the wishes. So when you first fall in love, the conscious mind is in control. You're not playing the program. I say, and remember, the program came from other people. So let's say I got a bad program from my father about relationship. I got a bad program. That's why I didn't find a relationship till I was almost 50 years old. Why? The invisible behavior that was from my father, when I would play that, would push away a relationship because it wasn't good behavior. I didn't see it, okay? So the important understanding is this, is that when people come together and they fall in love, they don't play a program. I say then the life is controlled by the conscious mind, wishes and desires, and that's why they create the heaven. I say, but how come the honeymoon ends? Because at some point, you still have a job, you have things you have to do, you start thinking, where am I going, what am I doing? I say, the moment you are thinking, guess what? The program plays. But the program has negative behavior, like my father's behavior, right? So when I first met a woman I could be with, it was like, hey, honeymoon, really great. But once I started thinking about jobs and everything, then my father's behavior came out, and then my partner would look at me and go, who are you? Where did that come from? And I go, what? And they go, what you just said. And I go, what did I say? Why? Remember, when the subconscious is running it, is because the conscious is not paying attention. So your partner comes in, your loving partner, you've on a honeymoon, and your partner asks you a simple question, but you're thinking. And in my case, then all of a sudden, if I'm thinking, then the behavior I'm going to do is not here. That one's thinking. The behavior coming from subconscious, my father's behavior. And I turn around my love, we've been to have a honeymoon, and then she asked me a simple question, but I am thinking. The behavior I make a response with isn't me. Now it's program. And I go, blah, blah, blah. And she looks at me like, who are you? Where'd that come from? Why? I never played my father's programs when we were in the honeymoon part. But once I started to think, then my father's program started to show up. And that's when my partner looks at me like, I don't want to be with you with that behavior. But that's how a honeymoon starts, and it's wonderful. It's heaven on earth. That's what the honeymoon is, okay? But I said, why does it end? And the answer is because the honeymoon worked when you were just creating with the wishes and desires. The honeymoon ends when all of a sudden you start playing the programs that you got, because those aren't you. Those are behaviors from other people, and you didn't see it. And if they're negative behaviors, you didn't see it, but your partner saw it. And your partner goes, what kind of behavior is that? And then the honeymoon is ending. And that's why we have a honeymoon, beautiful, and then it went away. I said, why did it go away? Because the more we're thinking, the more the program. The more the program, the more the negative. And then all of a sudden there's a point where the partner goes, I don't want to be with you anymore. It's too negative.
Yeah, it's happening actually. Yeah, it's so guys, this is very important information.
Yeah.
Okay? This is very important. So guys, what do you think about it? Just write down, please. Your experience, share it with other people. Thank you very much. Now the question is, kind a little different. It's a little different question. So let's talk about it. How to free myself from the system and become independent in housing, employment, and finances.
Yeah. Well, then you're caught in a system. That was what you're saying. I'm in a system. I'm caught in a system, and it's controlling me. I don't want to be caught in a system. I go, yeah, but when you're caught in a system, it's not because your mind wants to be in the system. It's a subconscious program. You're going to play 95% of the day. That's what keeps you in the system, because the program says, do what we say. Well, that's like the parent says, do what I say. Well, then the government says, do what I say. And your boss, do what I say. And I guess as long as you have program, do what they say, then you do what they say, and you don't like it. I go, why? That was the program that made you do it. Not this. This is the one that's going, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I said, but if you don't change the program, you will automatically do it, because you're not using this part of the brain except the 5%. So 95%, you don't like your life. Why? Because the programs are not make you happy. I go, so what are you going to do about it? I say, think about a good one. I go, no, thinking doesn't change it. You have to change the program. So we have to go back and change the subconscious program that we got from our parents. And then we become free, because then we can write what we want in the program. So 95% of the day, you won't play your parents' behavior. 95% of the day, you'll play new behavior, but you have to change the program.
I'm sorry for interrupting again, Bruce, but the question is crucial question. How to change it? We try so hard. Yeah. We try. How did you do coaching, and nothing is happening.
How did you try and change it?
Some people, they just really, for example, they read the books, they do coaching, they watch some videos, they try to think positive, but still it's like, ugh.
No, because let's go back. Thinking positive. I say, thinking positive, how much of the day do you think positive? How much? Well, I already told you. 5%. 95%, you're still thinking, but it's not your thinking. It's not thinking. 95% just the program. If the program doesn't make you happy, no matter how much thinking, it's not change the program. That's what happened when I first wanted to tell the people about the new idea, and I wanted to tell them, oh, you can make the best happy life. And then they look at me and they say, well, if you're so smart, why is your life like it is? Why don't you have a happy life, Lipton? You telling me how to have a happy life? Why don't you have a happy life? And I said, because it was my thinking I was telling them. But I never changed the program, so my thinking was smart. But my program always made me go back to the negative part. So now your question is important. How to change the program.
Yeah, how to change the program.
There are 3 ways. Okay? The reason you got the program in the first 7 years of your life, the reason is because the subconscious mind, that was operating, not the conscious mind. The subconscious mind was like a video recorder. It saw, it downloaded. It watched the father, it downloaded. It wasn't thinking, it was just recording, okay? And so the brain was in a state for 7 years where it wasn't a thinking brain. It was called the brain. Remember I said electrical activity? Well, electrical activity you measure in vibration, okay? The vibration of a child's brain before 7 is not at the level of thinking. It's lower than thinking. It's called theta. Theta is imagination. This is a part of being a child because the child's brain is operating from theta, imagination. So that's why they have imaginary things like they have a tea party. They pour nothing into the cup. They drink the nothing and they go, that was the best tea I ever had. I go, that's imagination. Or they're on a broom and they're riding a broom like a horse. And the mother says, give me the broom. To the child's like, this in the mind of the imagination, it's a horse. And the mother says, give me the broom. But the child's like, it's not a broom to the child. It's a horse. Imagination. But, and this is the point, theta is hypnosis. That is how the child learns the behavior. They're in a state of hypnosis. They just watch and download. Watch, download. Hypnosis. Okay? I say, so what? I say, well, if you get back into hypnosis, that's how you made the program. If you can get into hypnosis, you can rewrite the program. I go, I say, how do I get into hypnosis? When you're at work, the vibration of the brain at work is a high vibration. When you come home and relax, the high vibration is called beta vibration. When you come home and relax, the vibration slows down. It's relaxed vibration, and that's called alpha. But the moment the vibration goes lower than alpha, that's when you fall asleep. So I say, I come home from work, high vibration. I relax. Now, if I go from beta, high, I relax. Now I'm in alpha. But the moment my eyes close and I go to sleep, the next vibration is theta. That was the hypnosis one. So I said, well, you mean every night, just after I fall asleep, I'm in a state of hypnosis? I go, yeah. So if you put earphones on or earbuds and you go to bed and you have a program play, like how to be healthier or how to make more money or how to make a better relationship, a program, okay? And the moment you fall asleep and the earphones are on, your conscious mind didn't hear what was on that program. It went to sleep. But the subconscious mind is now in theta for a period of time, a short period. But theta is hypnosis. So if I put the earphones on and the program is playing, my conscious mind, not here, sleeping. My subconscious mind in theta will take whatever is coming in the earphones and put it into the subconscious mind. That's called self-hypnosis. And you can do this every night. You just play the program and repeat the program and repeat the program. And after a number of nights, you'll wake up and now the subconscious has learned that program. because you played it a number of times. And what did you have to do? Fall asleep. Once you fall asleep, then the subconscious mind. So I say, how much work you have to do? I say, fall asleep. The rest of it will work while you're sleeping. So it's called self-hypnosis. But I said that only goes until 7 years. But you learn something after 7. You got a new program. You learned how to drive a car. You learned how to play a music instrument. You learned different jobs. I said, how did you make a new program? I said, you practiced. You repeated it. That's how you make a habit. You take a program and you repeat it and you repeat it. You want to play an instrument? Every day you practice. Every day you practice. Every day you practice. And one day you don't need to practice. You pick up the instrument, you play the instrument. Why? Because now you made habit out of that principle, okay? And so the point about it is, so the first way to change the belief, hypnosis, self-hypnosis, earphones or earbuds on at night, fall asleep, let the program. You won't hear the program. You'll be sleeping. The subconscious hears the program. And that's where the change comes. After that, the next way of making a program is a habit. Repeat something and repeat it and repeat it. If you're not a happy person, but all day long you say to yourself, all day long, every time you can remember, go, I am happy. You might be very upset. You might be angry, but all you have to say every day, repeat many times, I am happy. To yourself, I am happy. I am happy. After a number of days, guess what? You don't have to say it anymore because it's a habit now. You wake up and you're happy. Why? Because repeating it makes a habit. Driving the car is a habit. Once you learn how to drive the car, you don't even have to think about driving the car. It's automatic. Once you learn how to walk, you don't have to think about walking. When you were an infant, it was like, oh, I'm trying to stand up. I go, but once you learn, you never think about it. That's the good part of habits, if they're good habits. If they're bad habits, well, there's a problem because they're going to keep repeating because it's a habit and you have to change it. So now we have two ways. First way, self-hypnosis, earphones at night. Second way, repeat the behavior you want. It's practicing, just like practicing driving a car, practicing a sport. You want to play a sport? Go out and practice. And once you practice and you know, then you don't have to think about it. It's automatic. So the second way is make a new habit. And then there's a third way. And this is the most important one because it's the fastest one. It's a new type of psychology. It's called energy psychology. I go, what's different? It doesn't make a difference what happened in the past to make the program. Why? That's the past. You have the program now. Even though, let's say your father said something when you were 3 years old that put a program in that was negative, and then you go back and you say, my father made me do the program, and you cry. And I go, your father's not here anymore. You have the program. He's not here. So what's the point? Going backwards doesn't change the program. You look at what you want today. This is a new psychology. What is it you want right now? Then you put in the program of what you want right now. Don't go backwards. That repeats the old program, makes it worse. That's why people cry when they do psychology. Oh, my mother did this and my father. I go, you don't have to go backwards. They're not here. You got the program. They're not here. So why deal with them? So new energy psychology. You can change a belief in minutes. You can change a belief in 10 minutes when you had your whole life. I say, where do you get this? I go, my website, brucelipton.com, has under resources a section called Belief Change. And there's 25 different programs, how to change your belief with energy psychology. Try one. If it works, it only takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, change your life. That's the way it works. And this is so good. Thank you, Tom, for putting that up on the screen.
Of course, you're welcome. So guys, let's check it. And, the third strategy reminds me Buddhism a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Buddha, the The Buddha, 2,500 years ago, you know what he said? What you think, you will become. He knew exactly what we're talking about in today's science. He knew that 2,500 years ago. What you think, you will become. So if you're looking at something and you're not becoming what you want, it's not because outside, it's because your thinking is creating what you don't want. So you change your thinking and you create your life, a new one. That's as simple.
Crazy. Bruce, I'm going to ask you last two questions because we don't have much time right now. So for that, so thank you very much for explaining. It's amazing for me to hear again from you. I always like it because you put new examples, new stories, and it's so good. So the next question is, which medical discovery surprised you recently?
Which medical discoveries did what to me?
Which medical discovery surprised you, or just, you found it's very interesting for you? Is there anything like new medical discovery recently?
No, you know what? The fact is this: medicine. And listen, I want people to know I was a professor in a medical school. Okay, mm-hmm. I can tell you the truth here. The pharmaceutical industry controls the teaching in the medical school. That's why when doctors are being taught, they don't teach anything we're talking about here because it doesn't require any medicine. What are doctors taught? Which drug should I prescribe to this person? You have this problem? Which drug I'm going to give you? So medical students are trained to give drugs, but they're not trained to free your mind. You know why? Because if you can do your own control, why would you buy the drugs? And all of a sudden, the pharmaceutical company, the biggest outside of military, the pharmaceutical company is the biggest industry. And if you don't buy the drugs, then they don't have any money. And people think, oh, the drug healed me. Let me tell you a simple fact. A drug is a chemical, yes. If it works, it's because when you put the chemical in your body, the cells have what are called receptors, receivers, that recognize the chemical. And when the chemical binds to the receiver, then the chemical changes the function of the cell. Important fact. Did God make the receivers waiting for the drug company to make a chemical? No. If you have a receiver on your cell, it's because you can make the chemical. That's why it's not waiting for pharmacy. You can make your own chemical. So the question is, why are you not releasing the chemicals that can heal you? And the answer is, if your belief system is you're not powerful, if the belief system says you're a sick person or you could get cancer, then it's the belief that controls this, because the chemistry of the mind makes chemistry. If I have a picture of love in my mind, the brain makes wonderful chemistry, goes into the body, dopamine, pleasure. That's why when you fall in love, it feels good. Well, it's chemistry, okay? The dopamine, oxytocin, another chemical. You fall in love, oxytocin. That bonds you to your lover, okay? When you fall in love, chemical, growth hormone. I go, what is that? That's the hormone that makes you healthy. That's why when people fall in love, they become healthy. And I say, why? Chemistry. If I have negative thinking, I don't put love chemistry in. Negative thinking puts stress chemistry in. I go, oh, that's a different chemistry. That changes your life. So all of a sudden it says, why do I need pharmaceuticals? I say, because your thinking is not giving you the chemistry you needed to make your life. If the thinking is not positive, the thinking is negative, you make negative chemistry. Okay? The point is, do I need to get the pharmaceutical? I say, no. Why? You need to change the thinking, not the chemistry. You change the thinking, then the chemistry changes. And this is why the pharmaceutical industry does not want you to know that you can control your life. Because if you understand you can control your life, you will not buy pharmaceutical drugs, because you can make them yourself. And that's why medical school, they don't teach the stuff we are talking about. In medical school, they teach, oh, this disease needs this drug. This behavior needs this drug. And that's what they learn. It's just like memorize. Oh, you have that problem? Oh, you need this drug. That's the teaching in medical school. What about the teaching of placebo? What's placebo? Oh, you healed yourself with sugar pill? Oh, you didn't need the drug? Yeah. Do they teach placebo? No. And why? Because if you understand placebo, you wouldn't buy the drugs. And I'm telling you, from being in the medical school, the drug industry has a very important role in shaping medical education to fit the industry called the pharmaceutical industry.
Guys, if you can still watch this video, just share it. Or write down your opinion. Maybe you do not have to agree with everything. Okay.
Nope.
Just write your opinion and let's talk about it. But thank you very much for saying that, because I think it's very good to talk about it, just to, to search for more, you can check it. You can just, compare it with other interviews. Okay. It's okay. But, Bruce, now I understand Wikipedia. Yeah. Let's talk about the last question for you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a very interesting question as well. And it's about the future.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the last questions. Do you have sometimes feeling of fear about the future when you see when the world is going and the pressures people are under? And the second part of the question, can you see a way out of this situation?
Yes, I can answer this question. Today, the English word is we are unsustainable. Sustainable means we can take care of ourselves. Unsustainable says we can't take care of ourselves. I say, why? Because we are taking all the resources from the planet away. We're using them all up. We're polluting the air. We're polluting the water. We're polluting the ground, and things aren't growing as well, and animals are dying out, and people are in chaos and all this. It's like falling apart. I go, it's falling apart because it doesn't work. And I go, so what does that mean? It says, then the culture, the behavior that we are using as a civilization is destroying the planet from which we come. So I said, then what does that mean? It says, we have to change the way we are living on this planet, because the way we are living on this planet is causing the problem. So I say, how do you change the way you're living? I say, first of all, the system we have has to fall down. We can't fix the culture the way it lives today. We have to change the way we are living, all of us. And so when I see the world in chaos, when I see it falling down, I'm not in fear. I'm just the opposite. I'm the one that's going, yeah. I say, why? Because we cannot create the future that can keep us alive using the behavior we use today. So the only way we're going to survive is the system is going to fall down. And I go, good, because we need to build a new system. I say, how do you do it? And this is the second part. Don't participate in the world today. Go create a new community. Go find new people. Don't support the old system. I say, what do you mean support? Stop buying their products. The reason they control you is because you buy the product, you give them your money, and they take your money. I say, is the pharmaceutical company your friend? I go, no, they don't. They don't care about you. How much money? There are drugs that they have that could cure diseases. I say, where are the drugs? I say, they don't want to sell them to you, because if you cure the disease, then you're not going to buy the drugs. So the idea is they give you a drug that keeps you somewhat alive, but it doesn't give you the healing. Everything that the people sell you is because they want your money. But if they sell you stuff that's not good for you, then what does that mean? Well, you're giving away your money and you're hurting yourself. I'll give you an example. We have what is called industrial farming. That's the big time farm with all the chemicals, and they spray the things and they put all the toxic fertilizers and they put all that stuff in there. The food that is grown by industrial farming is bad for you. The nutrients are gone. It's just I love it. They genetically make the tomato red. Oh, look, it's a great red tomato. I said, taste it. It don't taste like a tomato. It's just water. So what's the point? They're selling you products that can take away your health. And that's why I can tell you from a scientific point of view, you should be eating natural food. You should be eating organic food, biodynamic food. Why? That still has the nutrition. That's where we get our health from. Industrial farm, they could put product on the shelf. Hey, this fruit has been on the shelf for 2 weeks. It's still there. I go, how good can that be? Because if it's really good food, it's gone in a couple of days. How can you do this? And the answer is genetics. Did they make it healthier? No, they made it last longer, but it didn't make it any healthier. So what's the issue? We have to stop supporting the companies that are polluting the planet. And this is very important because this is the petroleum industry. The fuel, they're selling us fuel. I say, yeah, so what? And I say, the fuel you buy is what's polluting the air. The fuel you buy is destroying the environment. That's why we have to go electric. And even electric is not at the best place, but it's better than burning fuel, because when you burn fuel, you get waste product. Don't breathe the exhaust from your car. It's poison. I say, yeah. So all the cars going down the street, what are they doing? Releasing poison. The exhaust is poison. You can't breathe and live. And I say, we have so much burning of fuel, we're poisoning our own atmosphere. I say, so how do you stop it? I say, we better stop using gasoline. We got to find better ways, wind power, electric power, any other power, but burning fuel. I say, so how am I going to make a better world? I say, and then stop supporting the industries that are making money at the expense of making a worse environment. Who's going to do that? Well, I got to do it. You got to do it. Why? If we don't do it, then they keep repeating the same story. That's why the petroleum industry kept saying, no, there's no problem with the climate. I go, have you been around this year? Matter of fact, in the last few weeks, people all over the world, right near where I am in California, 131 degrees in Death Valley. 131. That was the highest temperature ever recorded on the planet in the last 100,000 years, 131 degrees. The ocean right near Florida, the temperature of the ocean, and this is centigrade, okay? The temperature of the ocean was 100 degrees. And I go, 100 degrees? That's like hot tub. Yeah. And I say, what's the problem there? I said, it's killing things that live in the water. It's too hot. I go, oh my God, then the temperature is going crazy. I go, yes, it's called climate change. And I say, we didn't create it originally because it's a natural change, but we made it worse because of the pollution and the destruction of the environment. So humans didn't create climate change, just humans made it worse than it ever was. So I'm not trying to blame climate change on humans. I'm just saying, oh, we made it worse. We didn't make it, but we did make it worse. And so the issue is what? We're facing the destruction of the planet. NASA, the research, the rocket people here in the United States, did a research study, and they said in 2 decades, 20 years, civilization that we have today is facing irreversible collapse. Irreversible means it's not coming back. We have to move forward. Everyone, let's go back to the old days. I say, no, time to move into the new world, because the old days are what caused the problem. So going backwards isn't going to help. So conclusion to all of this is the world's falling apart. And people are afraid because their jobs are part of that world. It's like, will I lose my job? Will I have enough money? What's going to happen? They're living in fear. And I go, no. I'll tell you what you could live in fear about. If it doesn't fall apart, you should be afraid. Because it's going to be in 20 years, it's going to be the destruction of the civilization. And so the opportunity now is let the old one fall down and follow Tom, listen to his show, because he's going to provide you with information of how to go from here to a better world. But the way you have to do that is let go of the old world and then work together to create a new world. I think a man who talked about the future, Buckminster Fuller, he said, don't try and change the old world. Step outside and make a new world. And that's what we have to do right now.
Thank you very much, Bruce. I wanted to only tell that the electronic cars and everything you mentioned is a hot topic in my country right now.
Yes.
Many people has different opinions. Just guys, write it down. Let's discuss.
Yeah, let me just add
very kindly. Yeah, very kindly. And thank you very much for saying that, because I think it's very good to know and to talk about it. And I'm very grateful for you.
Let me just add this thing about the electric cars, because that is a big deal right now, okay? People say, electric cars are a problem because they use the batteries, and the batteries are made from minerals, and we're running out of the minerals, and that it's bad. Right now, it's transition time. We have to get out of burning fuel. That's the bigger problem, because the fuel is changing the climate and the gases and the environment and the carbon dioxide and all that. And then we drive electric car. But you say electric car pollutes. I go, yeah, it does. Not as much as the gasoline car. But guess what? It's a new technology. And what's important is when we have a new technology, it evolves to make it better. You have to start with electric car right now, not the best technology, better than fuel, but better development, evolution of the electric car will make a much more effective electric car. So you say electric car pollutes. I go, well, it pollutes because it's using the resources of the planet. That's not really polluting. It's using the resources. I go, right now. But if you don't create the first electric car, you can't make a better electric car. So yeah, we are the first electric cars. Is it better than the gasoline one? Oh yeah, that's not a question, because it doesn't burn the fuel. And I go, okay, is it the best one? No, not yet, but it's better than what we have. And I say, then stick with it, because the evolution of the manufacturer will say, how can I make the electric car better? And then we'll see over the coming years, it's going to get better and better. And then it'll be the best version. It's not the best version today. Is it better than what we have? Yeah, no question. No question. Is it the best? No, not yet. Give it a chance. It will become the best.
It's nice. It's like an evolution. And it's written in your books. So I love it. I love it. Thank you very much for adding this. Thank you very much for coming up with that. And Bruce, I want to thank you very, very much for your time. I really respect you, and I'm really grateful that you gave this time to the Czech audience and Slovakia audience. Very thankful for them, because I know their reactions and I know what they write. So thank you very much. Enjoy everything you do. Just, I would like to stay in contact with you. If in the future you will have time, we can just continue. We can just repeat the interview, because the questions were nice. What do you think about the questions? Were they nice for you, like the questions?
Yeah, this was good, because I want to answer their question. I talk to them. Does that answer the question? Well, maybe not. So how do I know? Well, they asked me the question, then I can talk to them with the answer. So I'm very happy with the questions, because that gives us something that everybody could understand and talk about. And I want to say how much I appreciate that you have me on your program, Tom, because I know you have a wonderful audience out there. And I want that audience to recognize, if you've ever been on a honeymoon, or just even a short time, you knew there was a better way to be here. Because when you're in that honeymoon, your life was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I go, that could happen every day. We just have to understand why it's not happening, but that's the programming. And so my appreciation to you for letting me talk to your audience, but my appreciation is to your audience, because if they get new knowledge is power. And they need the new knowledge, because the old knowledge is what's causing the problem.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys for sharing, for your comments, for subscribe, for anything. And see you in the next interview. Bruce, again, enjoy anything you do. Guys, if you want to know more about Bruce, but I know that you know him, of course, but, really recommend you to listen to his audiobook. I put a link below, so you can just do it right now if you have a feeling for that. It's in the Czech language as well. So I think it's in the Czech, actually, as well. I was listening to that in English, but I think okay, guys, I will search for that. I will put the links. Just check it, okay?
I don't know.
And you don't know. It's okay, because, you just do work and people share it. So that's how it works. If it's worth it, they do that. And I think it's worth it with you. So thank you very much for doing what you do, and enjoy life. And thank you very much. And see you again soon in the future, Bruce.
I hope so, Tom. And thank you, everybody in Czechoslovakia, because you're the heart of Europe. Maybe it'll grow like a new flower right from you. So I'm looking forward to being with you again, Tom, so we could add more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.